Welcome back to Good Morning Trinidad and Tobago on CTV and Talk City 91.1 FM. Now, the Trinidad and Tobago Express vessel will resume the inter-island run today, Thursday, 4th January, from Tobago at 8:30 a.m. That is from Tobago and from Port of Spain at 2 p.m. The normal schedule on Friday will be at 6:30 a.m. from Tobago and from Port of Spain at 2 p.m. Remember, on Wednesday, the sailing of the vessel was cancelled due to some electrical problems. And just to let you know as well, Caribbean Airlines advises that due to the approaching winter storm, which will affect New York and environs, a couple of their flights have been cancelled. One is BW 524, January 4th, from the Piggott International Airport, Trinidad, to John F. Kennedy, New York, and BW 525, January 4th, from John F. Kennedy, New York, USA, to the Piggott International Airport in Trinidad. Affected customers traveling to and from New York during the period of January 4th to January 6th will be permitted to change or cancel their reservations without penalty, which are, of course, subject to conditions. Now we want to go to Tobago, where we are going to speak with Mr. Rodney Piggott, the president of the Tobago Writers Guild, and Ms. Nikisha Alfred, the assistant coordinator of Next Chapter. Next Chapter is in its second season, and it is about the spoken word competition. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
How are you all?
We're great.
I'm okay.
Can you give us some information about Next Chapter Season 2?
All right, very good. Thanks for asking. Good morning, Trinidad. Good morning, Tobago. My name is Rodney Piggott, as he stated, the president of the Tobago Writers Guild. The mission of the Tobago Writers Guild is to foment and nurture a literary arts culture, particularly in Tobago. To that effect, one of our tools, we started an open mic session for artists, singers, poets, spoken words, whatever art form you have, to come out to a particular venue and express your art on a regular basis, a monthly basis. That is called the Next Chapter. And so the second season of that will be launched this Sunday at the Edge of the Reef restaurant in Pleasant Prospect.
At what time?
7 p.m.
So why are you all having such an event?
Say again?
Why are you all having such an event?
It's very important that artists have a place to express themselves. Tobago particularly has a great deal of talent, especially in the area of spoken word, poetry, singers, and so forth. But what they don't have is a place to express themselves. And this is how an artist grows. Artist grows by sharing. And so this venue is important to help artists to grow, find their voice, and just express themselves to each other and learn from each other.
It is a relatively new competition in that it is only in its second season. But
well, correction there. It's not a competition. A competition along the lines of a slam is where artists actually compete to see who's the best. An open mic forum is a non-competitive atmosphere in which the artist who has never been on a microphone before can come, feel comfortable amongst artists who are experts on the microphone and not be judged and not feel as though they're out of place, but given that space in which they can grow and find their voice. So that's the importance of an open mic. It's like school.
And what is the turnout like for an event like this?
It's very well attended. As I mentioned, there is a lot of artists on the island that regularly, write, and they just need a place to express themselves. So that's what the Tobago Writer Guild is providing.
And I just want to get Miss Nikisha, Alfred in the conversation. What kind of preparation goes into an event like this?
Well, currently we have a dynamic team of individuals, each from varied backgrounds, and together we work together to make the event possible. Our host of this season is Xavier. He's currently he has his debut album out. It's titled the
Live Free
Project, and he'll be hosting the second season. The first season was hosted by the current 2017 First Citizens Bank Grand Slam poetry champion, Miss Cameron Bruno. So we have a lot of dynamic artists and individuals and entrepreneurs working together to make this session possible.
I mean, what goes into getting people to come out? You know, how do you attract people to come to an event like this, especially people who may be considered shy?
All right. Well, we have a Facebook page. We have ads currently out on the radio, and we are doing a series of interviews, particularly on the internet and on live TV. It's the open mic genre, or the spoken word genre, is mostly a word of mouth. Word of mouth. People pass the word. There's a strong following currently in Trinidad and Tobago for the spoken word genre, and there are a couple of popular artists that have come from Tobago, like Crean McPherson, Crystal Skeet. We spoke about Cameron Bruno. There's Wade Ruth and Xavier, and so many artists. Too much to mention right now. But we have a strong following. We saw that from the season 1 that we had, and that's why we decided to embark on a season 2. And we want to not just make it strictly a Tobago thing, but a nationwide event.
So it starts on January 7th and will continue every first Sunday of every month thereafter. The doors open at 6 p.m. and the show starts at 7 p.m. Is there a cost attached to getting into the event?
Yes, there is. There's a very nominal cost, $50, which will provide the entry with a free premium drink. That cost will also go towards the Tobago Writers Guild, which is a non-profit organization. And so we can use those funds to further our efforts of nurturing this literary arts culture, particularly in Tobago.
Is there an age gap for people who want to come and take part? Or is it open to everybody?
Right, it's open to everyone. But of course, since the hour is going to be 7 and probably go until 11 o'clock at night, we will more than likely find that it's more of the adult, maybe 16 and over, those that may have permission to be out by themselves or can be out by themselves. So we don't expect 9-year-olds and 10-year-olds to be out at that hour. We are planning to put together an open mic forum for children, which will be hosted by children. So that's forthcoming.
And when can we expect that?
It will be this year. It will be this year. Once we get this second season up in the air, off and running, then my attention will be turned towards finding the right venue for that age-appropriate child.
And why is having an event like this so important for Tobagonians and for the country at large?
Well, again, as I said before, it's necessary for an artist to have a venue, a place where they can express themselves. Imagine having a talent and not being able to share it with others. If you're a good soccer player, a good cricket player, but no one knows. You know, you could bowl well, you could bat well, but you do that all in your backyard, and no one knows you have this talent. But when you're able to bring that out on a main stage, it provides enjoyment for others. It can inspire other people. And you never know what your art form expression might be able to do for someone. It can be very healing. Imagine a poet getting up on stage and sharing their life story poetically, and someone sitting in the audience hears that and says, my God, I thought I was the only one going through that. You see, and the healing begins for them. So when we share with each other, we actually heal each other.
And where do you see this competition in the next year, next 2 years, 3 years? Well, not really competition, but this event.
Okay. We hope that the general society will embrace it, that people will come out and help to support the artists and push this forward. So this will be as strong as the people that actually encourage it to grow.
And Miss Nikisha, Alfred, what do you have to say to the people who are listening for them to come out and support?
All right. Good morning again, Trinidad and Tobago. We are basically asking the public to come out, support. Who knows, you may be an artist in the making. Who knows, we may have artists who would grow through the event and probably reach the international forum. So we just ask them, we're not limited it to just a certain age bracket, because people would hear spoken word and open mic and they think of probably some teenagers or young adults rapping on a mic. But it's not just limited to that. The literary arts encompasses a lot of different expressions, forms of expressions. So it's not just limited to poetry. There's also singing, dancing, and all of the different forms of the arts. And that's what the Tobago Writers Guild would like to foster in Tobago. And not just the Tobago Writers Guild, but we are also extending support to community groups or anybody who are interested in the arts in general.
But and this isn't an art form you hear much about.
Right, correct. But it is something that's growing in popularity, particularly in the US. And there are also seasons and sessions like this in Trinidad. And interestingly, there was a similar event like this taking place in Tobago at the said venue, but it was previously the signature launch, but now it's the edge of the reef. So it's a symbolic, handoff, as you will say, because it's interestingly, we are keeping the season 2 in the same venue in which the spoken word, the open mic sessions initiated in Tobago.
And let me also add that the spoken word poetry is a very old art form, because as we know it, in the beginning was the word.
All right, well, thank you very much, Mr. Rodney Piggott, President of the Tobago Writers Guild, and Ms. Nikisha Alfred, the Assistant Coordinator of Next Chapter. Well, the Writers Guild Next Chapter Spoken Word Season 2. That starts on the 7th of January 2018 and will continue every first Sunday for every month thereafter at the edge of the Reef Restaurant and Lounge in Pleasant Prospect. The doors open at 6 p.m. and the event itself will start at 7 p.m. This is Good Morning Trinidad and Tobago.